Hey, I wanted to make a new video on the new best farmer strat in the game. So yeah, once again, we found another broken strat, and it's pretty much the same strat as yesterday, but as some people might already know, you just slap on Curation onto the strat we were doing yesterday, and now we're just shopping div cards, scarabs, and currency. So yeah, it's pretty much the same strat from yesterday, but you just drop in div cards as well, right? That's it. So yeah, here's some gameplay. It looks exactly the same as yesterday. You clear the map, kill the boss, pick up loot, right? So I want to talk about why this strategy is really insane, if you should do it, how hard it is, all that, costs, values, and how much you could expect. So yeah. You're going to be dropping fortunates, apothecaries, love cards, doctors, etc. Like pretty often. I think apothecary with this map drop rates is like 1 in 30 with what we're using right now. So yeah, you still want to kill the boss. Boss is really good profit. Highly recommend to do it. And once again, you kill the boss, clear the map. Yeah, same stuff as yesterday. So let's talk about what this is, of course. So this is Curation with a Scarab completion and 2 normal div scarabs. So like I said, same strat as yesterday, but now we're just doing 4 divination scarabs. If you remember from my last video, I said it really doesn't matter what scarabs you use. And since it really doesn't matter what scarabs you use, why not just go full div card juicing? That's exactly what we did. So Atlas Sheep on real quick, I'll link down below, of course. But yeah, just basics. You're taking all the scarab nodes, you're still farming scarabs, you're still farming raw currencies, so you're just farming divination cards on top of that. So yeah, take all the scarab nodes, back to basics, absolutely mandatory for a strategy like this. And yeah, all the map effect nodes and quant, of course. Very basic tree. Now in terms of what map you want to run, so in terms of maps, Fortress is the best map. The reason why, it has these natural spawn barrels that spawn more loot that do scale your map effect, and stuff like more currency and more scarabs and your div cards as well. So yeah, Fortress is the mandatory map for this strategy if you're using div scarabs. Now in terms of what maps you want to run, you want to run the same maps as before, which is the barrel map. So yeah, you want to run the maps that have this mod. Area contains 30 additional clusters of highly volatile barrels. This is what makes the strat insane. These barrels just have an insane quant modifier to them that, as far as I know, do not scale at player quant, but do scale at map quant. They just drop a ton of loot, and this is where the vast majority of loot is coming from. I estimate around 6% of loot is coming from this mod right here. Outside of that, so this mod right here rolls from 30 to 40 barrels. You really want to make sure to have like 36 to 40 barrels for this strategy. Your total map investment is around like 9 to 10 divines. I think it's in like 9 divines right now at current prices. And the difference between 40 and 30 barrels is 33% more barrels. So that's, pretty close if you have 600% in your loot, right? That's only like 20% more loot. So yeah, make sure you're always rolling for high barrels. I would not use one that has low amount of barrels like this. Past that, you would want like decent map quant, and also more scarabs or more currency are very good as well. I'm not really sure what's the min-max way to roll your maps right now for this strategy, but I definitely know you want as high barrels as possible, followed by map quant / scarab / currency. So yeah. So let's talk about the loot and how this strategy is insane and how you can earn like 100 divines an hour if you have a min-max character like mine. Now before I show, I did want to say, a lot of people say like, hey, is this bait? Are these numbers fake? The answer is no. I do this all on live stream. The VOD's all there. Feel free to watch it for yourself. The thing is, my character is a multi-mirror min-max character. You are not going to get the same results as me, but if you're like 70% as efficient, 80% as efficient, you can still get results very close to mine, right? Because this is just maps per an hour. So yeah, keep that in mind. You don't have to be as efficient as me to make us this much currency. Even if you're half as efficient, it's still extremely strong, right? So yeah, this was the first hour I did before Curation shot up in price. So this had creators at 3.7 divines. If you now look in game, they are probably like 7 divines, right? Yeah, they're probably more so around like 6 to 7. These listens are probably all old, not updated yet. So yeah. Past that, you see we made 223 divines this hour, 1 full stack nimmies. And if you take out the full stack of nimmies, it's still over 100 divines this hour. Even if we update to the current price of 6 to 7 divines, this should be about like 80 plus divines an hour, right? If you make the curations into the current price and not what they were. So yeah, still 80 plus divines with current prices as of right now. Another hour we did right here, you'd see a cost was 114 divines. This is the updated curation price with 138 divines in revenue. So yeah, here we made 138 divines and we didn't get any big full stack drop. We did get lucky with more Nimis on average. You probably only see one Nimis drop, so 5 on Origins Nimis card. So we get lucky here where we dropped more on average, and we probably got lucky on the 7 years of bad luck. But still, I suggest strategically anywhere from 80 to 100 divines an hour long term. Now keep in mind, this is long term averages. So if you're unsure how do you calculate your profits, essentially you want to go into the map, count all your individual union drops, and then you can know your long-term averages. So I've done this, and we drop around 24 to 27 individual unions per a map. So that's kind of a full stack as one union, which means the average profit long-term from div cards is around 11 to 12 divines. So if our map, so we can just do quick math real quick. You know, if our map investment is 9 divines and we get 12 divines of div cards back, as a long-term average of 3 divines per map of div cards. Now this does not include stuff like the scarabs you get, which you still get a lot. It does not include the currency you get and the boss frags you get, which is still a lot. And as you know from last video, that makes up for like another like 50 to 60 divines, right? So yeah, that's how we're getting this 80 to 100 divine an hour profit margin. Also, there's mirror shard is from me turning the 7 years of bad luck. So that's why this mirror shard is here. It didn't drop in the map. So yeah. So yeah, like I said, long-term average, this is around 80 to 100 divines, but this assumes you're going to drop like a full stack apothecary, full stack fire of unknown origins, full stack unrecorded love, etc. Right? So that's what I want to talk about real quick before I end this video, is that even though this is an insane farm and an insane profit, I don't really recommend most people to do this, even if you can do it, because if you go unlucky, you can lose currency in a short term. You can do 10 maps and like maybe barely break even. You won't lose that much currency, but you will barely break even sometimes. You can go unlucky. You can also go insanely lucky, right? Yeah. But long term, you should be making profit. So yeah, I don't recommend a lot of people to do this, but if you do want to do this, hey, it's very, very strong. So yeah, last thing I want to mention is I feel like for most people, you should be doing the other strat that I showed yesterday. That strat is still very, very good and probably even better now because I showed off this strat. So your curations went up in price. So yeah, the strat I showed yesterday is probably, I would say, of my character at least, still 60 plus divines an hour, maybe still 70 divines an hour. Obviously, like again, whatever your character is slower, 50% as effective, 70% as effective, just use that to determine your different hour, right? I show these videos just to share the information. Everyone's an even playing field here. Use this knowledge for yourself, calculate a different hour for yourself. But for me right now, yesterday's strat is 70 divines an hour, and this strat's around probably 80 to 100 divines an hour for me. Anyway, that's about it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below.